midweek live, middle of the week, middle of your day. I like to say that every time. Hump day, yeah. Yes. I have Andrew with me.
Hello.
I always love when these come up. I get to have a staff member sitting across from me. It's always kind of fun. And what's even more exciting is he's actually a team member, not just like a staff member. We're under the same team. We're both in the visual arts department. Andrew does all of our videos, pretty much all of them. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, I think so. Most of them.
Most of them, pretty much, probably all of them. Lots of pictures, lots of video. Yeah. So you're kind of just constantly working on stuff like that, which totally makes sense because you love movies.
Oh yeah.
But the best part. So what did we name you? We just went on a visual arts retreat.
The retreat.
So Andrew is known for like just having like a plethora of understanding for words and their definitions. And I'm really known for making up words, and so it's quite the combination.
Oh yeah.
Between the two of us, because I'm convinced he's made up a word when he actually is not. It's an actual word, and he has the definition for it, so that always makes it really
Any
fun.
excuse to use a weird word.
There you go.
Common
Didn't you say you
conversation.
like in the mornings you would like do some kind of something or other?
Oh, the Wordle.
The
I'm
Wordle.
Sure
Okay,
there
yeah.
are quite
well,
a few
clearly
people.
that do Wordle. Yeah.
The morning ritual.
Yes.
I'm in a group text with my parents.
Absolutely.
We see who can do it in the
Absolutely.
fewest guesses.
Nice. Who wins most of the time?
It's kind of inconsistent.
Oh, okay.
We all have different approaches. I do.
Okay.
I have the same opener every
Okay.
time. My first guess is the same,
Word every time.
but my
Okay.
my mom and dad will vary it up.
Okay. All right. Well, your mom's Kim, so go Kim. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you're biased. It's fine. I understand.
I have you on because we are going to talk about a group that we don't hear a lot about all that often, but it's probably a group that's pretty, I mean, you guys are pretty involved in the church. Young Professionals Group, you're part of the core group there. And this is, again, it's one of those groups that you kind of know the members, but you don't really know a lot about the group itself. And you guys are kind of kicking things off again. We're putting it out there that you guys are having, meeting times and all of that. And I thought it might be kind of helpful for people to get an idea of what you could expect in this group, and just kind of maybe tear down some of the barriers that people might have with like joining it. I know like even with college group, right? College group is like a perfect example. Some people don't go to college group because they're like, I'm college age, but I'm not in college. So do I qualify going to college group, right? And I feel like young professionals might land into that same thing. They're like, well, I'm like a young person, but I'm not like in a professional job yet, so I may not qualify. You know what I mean? Like people might take it to maybe too literal. And so I thought it might be kind of helpful to kind of unpack that a little bit. So a young professionals group, what do you need to be in the young professionals group?
It's more of a life stage thing, honestly. Technically, like we do have an age range, it's 22 to 34, but it's very soft. That's not like a hard like, well, you're 34
you just
and a half,
happy
so
birthday, you're out of the group. No.
Bye. No, it's very much like life. We have people from like our age range is huge within the group. We have people like at the bottom, we have people at the top, all throughout.
Right.
Tons of different life stages.
Yeah, some are living
represented
still
there.
at home, maybe some on their own, some have kids.
Oh yeah,
some, some are school
all
still.
over the place.
I love it. So, what like you guys are meeting? Was it second and fourth Tuesdays?
Yeah, we meet second and fourth Tuesdays of every month, and we also on the third Friday.
Okay.
We'll have like a fun Friday night. Thing. That we do.
What does it look like? What do you guys do on like the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month?
Well, right now we're going through Alpha.
Oh, nice.
Which is a program that we're also doing in a few different ways here at North Point. So right now I believe we're on week 6 or 7.
Okay.
Coming up. Our retreat is actually coming up soon, where we just kind of take a weekend and reflect and pray and eat food together. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's what we've been going through right now. It's a little more structured than what we usually do.
Okay.
But we've done all kinds of things. Like we'll go bowling, we'll go golfing, we'll do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
We've taken river trips. It's been a blast, honestly.
Like the river rafting kind of thing? Oh my gosh, that's so much fun. I've only done that once, and our little guy, well, he was little at the time. He's not little now. He fell right out of the raft. We had to go in and get him, but that was fun. So tell me really quick, because people may not know what Alpha is. Could you kind of unpack a little bit in your own words? I mean, I'm sure there's like an actual tagline for Alpha, but we just finished Alpha like on a like bigger scale. We were meeting every week for like, what is it? I think it's 8 weeks, maybe 10
12.
weeks. 12. Okay. So the full 12 weeks, and you sit around groups, and like, what does it look like in your young professionals group to go through Alpha?
So Alpha it's not necessarily focused, but it's designed to be welcoming for new believers or people with questions. But you can absolutely get something out of it if you've been going to church your whole life.
Yeah.
It's more about kind of that open discussion with a different topic each night, kind of growing more and more advanced over time.
Yeah.
So typically you show up, you have dinner or a snack, you socialize, you have fun, you hang out for a little while, then you watch a video that Alpha has, the program has put together,
Right.
where they go over a topic, and then you break out. If you're a big enough group, you break out into smaller groups, and you discuss the video, and it just usually takes off from there. We've had some awesome discussions from Alpha.
Do you have a variety of people that are like believers, not believers? I mean, because I have found people, they believe that like in order to serve or in order to be a part of a small group or whatever, that you have to be a member, or you know what I mean? I think people get the wrong idea about certain things. I mean, I think there are some things we want to have in place at certain levels, but being a part of a small group, and essentially that's what this is, right? It's a small group. Is it considered small? How big is the group?
We call it a life group just because
Okay.
it's not like as focused as a Bible study or something like that. But we can go from anywhere from 9 to 20.
Oh, wow.
Usually we sit around like the 13 to 16 range. On an average night, but that can vary based on people's availabilities because of the life stage. It's usually post-college, you're working, or sometimes not working. Those people are usually more consistent.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is it the same place that you guys meet every single time?
We rotate between a few different leaders' houses, mine being one of them.
Okay. So if they were like wanting to be a part of it, is there some way? I mean, I know online, if you go to our events page, you can actually, there's like an email address that they can email and get more information about. Is there other ways beside that? Do I not know about another way? Or?
That's the main ways. You give us your email either through the website or in person. Sometimes we're around on Sundays. I mean, at least one of us will be here on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you get your name on the emailing list, then you'll get alerted whenever we have a meeting.
Yeah. And then also, like, okay, so you just did like a highlight. So the last weekends of every single month, we do something called Connection Sunday. We've just kicked back off again. We've done these in the past. And I know you've been really intentional about being there, being like a presence basically on the patio. If someone had a question about young professionals, or if they wanted to get to know you, or if they just wanted to break the ice, right, that they got a chance to actually talk with you. That's another way, right, that you can communicate.
We're going to be out there next Connection Sunday. We're going to have a booth. I think we're going to have Jenga and maybe pizza.
Oh, like the big Jenga? Like the big one, or just little?
We will get as big as we can get for Jenga.
I was going to say, I've only seen the like big ones. They're much taller than me. I don't know that I do very well at that, but I don't even think I do good at regular Jenga, but it'd be fun. Anyway. Okay, so they can come see you. Is there like a service that you guys go to? Like, do you guys decide to go on a specific service together, or is that just kind of?
Usually if someone's going and they're like, hey, is anyone going to this service? We have a few people go to the 9, a few people go to the 11. Usually we're pretty split between, but we have a pretty consistent group at the. I personally go to the 11, and we have a pretty consistent group that goes.
Yeah, I was going to say most of the time I see you guys a larger part of the group kind of hanging out after the 11 o'clock service. So my assumption is typically the bigger group goes at 11 o'clock. How long have you been part of the group?
Oh, wow. I've been a part of the Young Professionals group since probably, I think winter of 2019.
Okay.
So.
Oh, yeah, like right before the pandemic then, I would guess. Yeah. What did it look like for your group during the pandemic? Were you guys able to stay together?
We actually had a lot of fun during the pandemic.
Okay.
We had a root beer float stand that we would give to people like kind of driving by. We would have meetups over Zoom.
Yeah.
And we had like together we would have taco nights where a few of us would go out and get Taco Bell and deliver it so we could all eat tacos together. I
heard that. You guys would
Zoom.
get like the big box of tacos or whatever, and then literally drop it off on porches.
Yeah. So fun.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Did you have fun getting creative? Getting creative during that time?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because it was like we would meet and it's like, well, what are we
gonna
do
do next time? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was probably nice though to be all together again.
Mhm.
Has it taken a while to like get back into the rhythm of things in person, or?
I don't think so. We got right because we met consistently throughout COVID. I think
Yeah.
afterwards, like, obviously, like we got some new people, we lost some old people.
Yeah.
That's what happens. People
Yeah.
move on,
Yeah.
or just maybe the church or the group isn't for them, and that's fine.
Right.
But no, we got pretty right back into the swing of things after quarantine ended.
How did people find out about your group before? I feel like this is like a group we like hardly ever talk about, and so I'm always like, man, new people. So how are they finding out about it?
From what I understand, it's usually word of mouth. That's how I found out about it. I was referred like, hey, why don't you join
Yeah.
the young adults group?
Yeah.
I know some people have found out just if they're looking for a church in Fresno, they'll go on our website and see that it's there. They'll contact Becca through email and they'll get on the emailing list. We have a lot of people on the emailing list.
Yeah. Is that how you guys communicate for the most part?
Typically, yeah. All the weekly updates, everything
Yeah.
that we put out will be through the emailing list.
Yeah. So you've been going through Alpha. What other studies have you guys gone through in the past?
Ooh, when I first joined, we were going through. Because right now we are one big group,
Yeah.
and we haven't really had to split off yet. But when I joined, it was still a separate men's and women's who also would meet together at the beginning and the end.
Got it.
So we were going through some individual video series. I forget
So
what
like-
it was.
so like
I
the
remember
girls-
a lot about
Yeah.
that video
So the girls
series, but
did
I
like
don't
their
remember what it's
study
called.
and the guys
Yeah.
did their study, but you had times at the beginning and maybe even at the end where you guys hung out together. Kind
Yeah,
of a
we would
thing?
hang out, just talk, break the ice, talk about our weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at the end, we'd kind of talk about how we did in the study and
study.
what we got from it.
Yeah. What has been one of your favorite things that you guys have done? Favorite hangouts or favorite?
Honestly, maybe the root beer float stands during quarantine.
Yeah.
It was so much fun because we would get a few people out there with lawn chairs. People would walk their dogs by,
Yeah.
and we would just hand out free root beer floats.
I
It was
love
such a blast.
Yeah, to get to know maybe people that you wouldn't normally
Yeah.
meet is kind of a fun part. You guys also did the food trucks a few nights, am I right? Didn't you guys hang out here for food trucks?
Yeah, we've come and partaken of the food trucks. for
Have you
sure.
ever done that during this? Because we have food trucks, for people that don't know that, we have food trucks here every Tuesday night on our campus.
Mm-hmm.
Every Tuesday night. I think there's maybe been a handful that maybe they weren't here for some reason or another. For the most part, Fresno Street Eats are here every
Yeah.
Tuesday night. Have you ever done those since?
Not on this because Tuesday nights are usually when we meet.
Right.
So we haven't yet, but that's a good idea for an upcoming event.
Yeah, there you go. Have you ever done a movie night before?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What kind of movies have you guys
Usually we'll put it to a vote.
Okay.
This is usually not a scheduled thing, but
Okay.
which that's something that we encourage people to do in the group is like, hey, if you've got an idea for a fun thing
Yeah.
for us to do, just go for it.
Yeah.
So I think we watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days for our last movie.
guessing you guys
which
were
that was a
maybe-
polarizing
I
choice.
was gonna say I felt like more girls might have been at that
I
meeting.
think there were a lot of guy votes for it too, honestly.
Oh my goodness. That's
But
fantastic.
yeah.
So, but it sounds like it's a good, it's a good group of people. Do you reach out and connect with these people even outside of your Tuesday meetings, like when you guys hang out and stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do hangouts. We've been trying to get a pickleball thing going outside.
Man.
People will meet up and like work out.
Yeah.
Seeing friendships develop through the group has been awesome.
Yeah. You've been at North Point a long time.
Yeah.
Am I safe to say almost like, do you know any other church?
Not in Fresno. I mean, I've been to a couple other churches,
Yeah.
just with friends,
For sure.
when I was little, sleep over at a friend's house, go to
Yeah.
the Armenian Orthodox. When I was
Fun.
like 7.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, North Point's been my home for a really long time, since I was old enough to remember going to church.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like your parents they've been here since I've been here for sure. And I've been here for like 16, 17, 8, I don't know, something like that. Do you remember doing like summer extreme days through the
I
years?
do. I
Or I guess
remember-
it probably wasn't summer extreme days.
I
maybe
remember the
then.
first VBS we did back when it was still called VBS. It was
Yeah.
Amazon Outfitters. And I found a little plastic frog under my chair, and that meant something for the lesson, but I was just too excited to have gotten I got
So
to keep,
you
I got
don't,
to
even-
keep
you
the
don't even
frog
remember
toy.
what the...
No,
the
I think
point
I was
was?
like 6 or 7. But
I
I
love
remember
it.
that.
Are there other North Pointers that have been around a long time in that group?
In the group, I know Sam Padilla has been coming
Yeah,
occasionally.
Sam's one of our
Yep.
drummers.
Ashton Bushnell comes
She's
occasionally.
a staff member and been here a long time. Yeah.
A lot of people, some people, like you don't have to be a member of North Point
Right.
to come. We have some people that go to different churches
That's cool.
or that are not really around enough to commit fully to a church. We have people that are skeptical, people that aren't even Christian. We have a guy who very skeptical, very analytical mind.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. I love one of our best contributors to discussion by far.
Yeah.
Love having him in a group.
Yeah.
And,
which is probably really helpful as you're in Alpha, right? Because I mean, like in Alpha, you talk a lot about, I don't want to say misconceptions, but just some of the intricacies of religion and church and all of that, right? So it's probably really good and refreshing to some degree to hear somebody share, an opinion or a thought on something. It probably really gets you guys thinking. Does it challenge you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point. Like, it's not just, these are the basics of Christianity and what we believe. It's like, why do we believe this? Why do we act this way? Why do we, et cetera? It's been awesome to go through. I would highly recommend Alpha to any group looking for something
fantastic.
new to do.
Is he one of the only ones that are not a believer? Or are there others that are not believers in that group?
He's our most consistent non-believer to come, but we've had plenty come and go. Obviously, they don't come as often.
Yeah.
But we've had a good amount.
Can you tell me about one of your most challenging groups? Like, has there been a time where you've walked away and kind of felt like, oh man, this was a tough one. This was really kind of a hard discussion to have, or, because I think it's good to remember that, I think people have maybe a tough experience with something or a hard experience with someone. And I think it's so important that we talk about moments that are difficult, but that we press on and press forward, even though maybe I want to say that, so Stephanie was going to join us today, but she's a little bit more shy, and so that's all right. But she was even saying that there's been times that there have been, moments where it's been maybe a little bit more difficult or whatever. And she's like, but it's so good to honestly be able to get through those together.
Yes.
Have a difficult, issue or a disagreement. And it's not terrible. It's not, I'm not talking about screaming and yelling or anything like that. But I just mean,
thankfully.
Yeah, not that. But I just mean like a disagreement. I think so much of our energy is taken up by seeing disagreements on social, having disagreements face to face. We don't even know how to disagree good anymore, like to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Is that what that sounds like? Do you remember any of those moments through the years?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've had discussions where like we've gone to a sensitive topic and someone was very clearly like not willing to talk or not willing to share, and we're like, okay, we'll move on. We'll ask someone else.
Yeah.
Or just times where people have disagreed and it's gotten a little bit like escalated. But I've never walked away from group afterwards feeling discouraged.
Right.
It's always been, it's good that we had that discussion. It's good that we spoke about this. It's good that we got this out in the air, or whatever the resolution was.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a difference between, you guys coming to a Sunday service and taking in and being taught, stage to person, and then going to a group and having these sit around a circle, really more connection-based conversations? Like, what are for you the differences between those two? So many people come to church, come and attend, and then don't go into a smaller group and experience that one-on-one. Can you tell me for yourself, what is like the biggest benefit to doing those or differences between those?
I mean, I was always under the impression that you need both to have a proper relationship with Christ. Like you need both the teaching on the Sunday and the community and being with the whole church. And you also need to be able to ask questions and share personal stuff and get more intimate that you maybe can't do in a room full of hundreds of people while the pastor's speaking to you. And you can actually ask questions and respond and discuss and grow in your faith together. I think that both are kind of almost like a swirling yin-yang thing. They both they work together.
Do you ever have a moment on Sunday where you're like, I don't know that I agree with this or understand this, that you bring to the table on a Tuesday or bring to the table with that group?
Oh, all the time. And before if we'd ever like weren't going through a specific study, we would typically go over the sermon notes and talk about like that Sunday's sermon.
I was going to say, because on the back of the sermon notes are usually questions. Do you guys ever go through those? And have you guys learned from that?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. And it helps to further digest the message, especially if it's a little easier for us because we work at a church. But typically it's like you go there on Sunday and then you're elsewhere for the rest of the week. So your mind can kind of like partition that separately.
Yes.
And so this is just another way to help kind of reinforce and to think about it and further digest it rather than just like, oh yeah, church was good. It was about something.
Have you ever invited somebody and they came and it maybe wasn't for them and that was a tough spot?
Not yet.
Okay.
The people that might react that way are super busy and haven't been able to come yet.
Yeah.
The other people that I've invited have usually been North Pointers or other church people. I know there have been a few people that have joined the group and like tried it out and be like, no, not for me. Or I'm still really involved at this other church, so I think I'm going to find a group there.
Yeah.
That's absolutely happened before. Thankfully. No, I mean, I don't think I would be insulted if someone I invited
I was going to say,
way.
I also think it's really good for someone to feel like, you walk into a group and there's this expectation of, it kind of reminds me of you inviting somebody to church, right? And the whole time you're in church and this friend is beside you, you're like, I hope they're enjoying themselves. I hope that was okay. I hope the music isn't too whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're constantly thinking about like what their experience is, and because you're wanting them to enjoy it or be getting something out of it, right? And sometimes you get a friend that's like, yeah, that's great. And like, you're like, cool.
You know what, now that I think about it, there were two people that I did invite. But they're both they both found a couple small group afterwards because this was they were married. It would make sense to kind of go into, but they were.
Are there married groups? Are there married people in your group?
I'm trying to think if they're married. Okay, we actually do have a married couple that shows up every now and then. They're pretty busy and they live far away. They're kind of in the process of moving, but they come every now and then. We've had single people, we've had single parents, we've had married people, we've had dating people. It's the all walks.
Yeah. You said that you joined this group, you said like December or winter or whatever of 2019. So a time before you were in this group, did you have a small group or something that you were a part of before that?
No, that was when I was actually living in LA and I moved back to Fresno.
You were going to school, right?
I was going to school and then I lived in LA for a little while.
Okay.
Just trying to, do the LA thing. But that was very expensive. And all my roommates decided that it was too expensive and to not,
darn it,
continue to live there. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go to Craigslist in LA.
Right. Yeah, no. That's the beginning of some kind of made-for-TV movie, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this has really been kind of the first experience you've had with being, I mean, aside from things like maybe Kids Corps or whatever, right?
Yeah, like I was in a middle school small group here growing up and then a high school small group.
Yeah.
But this has been the first... It's been the first one that I've been in any sort of leadership position, that's for sure.
Well, and as an adult, right? Like as an adult being a part of that. You said 22 is that start time, or age. College, many go to college. So do you have people that also do college group on Thursdays and that also do the Tuesday nights with you guys?
In the past, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people don't go to college and they're already in that stage right after high school. They're already working. They're already kind of out in the world.
Yeah.
So, they could feel more at home in college. They could feel more at home with us. It's, once again, it's way more about stage of your life and where you fit in.
Yeah. Do you think that's like a benefit? I mean, we say this all the time. There's times I've been in small groups. There's seasons where I haven't been a part of a small group. There's small groups that like just mesh really well. Like everybody gets, I don't know, everybody's at the, I don't know. It just works, right? It's not that everybody's in the same life stage necessarily. It's just that everybody seems to fit really well. Does this group kind of feel like that group?
I think so. It's very much like a bunch of different puzzle pieces from very different puzzles, but somehow they do kind of stick together and make something.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It is.
If you were... someone was inviting you all over again, what's the kind of stuff that you would need to know? Like, you seem like you're would you call yourself an extrovert?
I'd say I'm a pretty good balance
of both
between the two.
Because I feel like, it's a hard thing to ask somebody to step into something they've never done before. And so I'm always trying to like give as much information that helps somebody feel a little bit less scared. I mean, I think no matter what, you have those butterflies in your stomach before you walk into something you haven't been in before or meeting people you hadn't met before, right? I don't know if that ever goes away at some point in life. Like there's that anxiety of like, oh, I don't know, what if this doesn't work out? I'm like stuck in this house with people that I'm not sure it's going to work out.
Yeah.
So what's helpful for somebody to know just kind of walking into this for the first time?
I mean, you really don't need to prepare that much. I mean, maybe bring a Bible, but otherwise just get ready to socialize, we'll talk. We can get pretty deep, but you're not forced to talk about anything.
Yeah, if you don't feel like
it's very much on your own terms.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you need to share what you need to share, then by all means.
Yeah.
It's very casual.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say you need to do homework. Especially right now, we're not Alpha isn't like a Bible study. There's no homework.
Right.
So
that's kind of nice too.
Yes.
I mean, to
it's
be
very
honest,
nice.
when there's homework, I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but
the
sometimes
leaders have homework.
there
but
you go. Yeah.
We
you
prep.
got it.
We prep so that other people don't have to.
That's right. That's right. So the next one is actually before our next midweek. It's Tuesday coming up, right?
Yeah.
And so, do you guys know what you're going to be doing, Alpha? And where you'll be meeting? You can email.
Be meeting at my place.
Oh, you're perfect.
Perfect timing.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead and add your name to the email list if you're interested, and
Yeah.
we'll get it out to you. We usually send it out the weekend or Sunday before we're about to meet.
So this Sunday, you'll be, perfect. I'll also send quick links right there in this video, guys. If you're listening back on the podcast or if you're watching right now, I'll also put it in there so that you can connect. And maybe you know someone that this might be something that they're interested in doing. Just want to encourage you to just do that. Gosh, guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Stepping in, it's hard. I won't lie and say that all of that's just really easy. I mean, there's still days like women's Bible study. I haven't been in a Bible study in a while. To walk in, it's still intimidating. And I know I've been here a long time, but it's that newness, right? And like, who am I going to sit with? And how is this, am I going to get along with everybody? Or is this study going to be hard? Or, I love how you said like homework and stuff like that. That's all varying factors to the human response of something new. So, step into it. It's going to be fun. Young Professionals Group, second and fourth Tuesdays.
Yes.
Am I got that right?
Yeah, second and fourth Tuesdays and the third Friday.
Third Friday. So on the first week, you guys aren't doing. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Andrew, thanks for coming.
Happy to be
last
here.
minute. I appreciate it and shedding a little bit more light on our young professionals. Really, ages 22 to 35. Is that what you said? Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, but once again, it's not like a hard cutoff.
Good. Yeah. Just hang out. Just come. Just come.
Yeah. Come and
All
see.
right, come and see. I love it. Yeah, come and see. All right, guys. Thanks so much for checking us out. Thank you so much, Andrew, and we will see you guys this week. Bye.